This is Michael Wickett. Scientists tell us that all of life is energy. Things that we think are physical matter like buildings are merely made up of molecules of energy. Our bodies are energy. The results that we get in life have to do with our use of energy. Let's look at how we can use the Silva techniques to interact with people more effectively. You see, you can go to your alpha level, project the kind of energy that you want to experience in an interaction or a meeting with someone, and then have that happen. For example, how many times have you met somebody and for some reason you just instantly trusted them? You felt comfortable with them. You felt rapport with them. By the same token, how many times have you met somebody and it didn't feel comfortable? You just weren't really at peace with them and you really didn't trust them. You see, the reason that happens is you're picking up on their unconscious energy. See, communication is only 7% words, 7% verbal. Communication is 93% nonverbal. So we communicate with people and we connect with people through our use of energy. One of the powerful techniques that Jose Silva gave us was how to go to the alpha level and practice mental rehearsal of the kind of feeling and energy that we want to have in a meeting with someone. For example, every time I have a speech or a seminar, which is my full-time business, I go to level and I mentally rehearse myself in that situation, the audience, the ideas, the interaction, and the feeling that I want to have between us. And interesting enough, a couple of months ago, I started deepening my mental rehearsals at alpha, if you will, and I felt and visualized myself going to a whole new level, being more connected to my audience than ever before. And in the last 30 days, I have gotten the 3 highest ratings of my entire 21-year career. The 3 highest client ratings. 2 people said, Michael, you were brilliant. One said, Michael, you were magnificent. And they said, you just really touch people's hearts in a way that we've never seen you do before. And these are people who've heard me speak for over 10 years. But it was the exact outcome that I had projected, sending my energy into very, very specific situations. And you can do the very same thing. You can image the ideal meetings you want to have, the ideal outcomes you want to have. Imagine the impact on your career if prior to a very important meeting, you could create even more charisma within yourself and create instant rapport that you could then translate to the person you're meeting with. About a year and a half ago, after many months of calling, I secured a very important appointment in Grand Rapids, Michigan, with a company that had grown from $70 million to $210 million, was hiring thousands of new employees. It was growing so rapidly they could hardly keep up with it. I knew in advance it would be a tremendous opportunity. A third-party agent had set up the meeting with the decision maker at the corporation in Grand Rapids. And I went to level the night before that meeting because remember one thing about meeting people. You never get a second chance to make a good first impression. And it's very difficult to change a first impression. So using these wonderful techniques, you can create more charisma and more rapport and create extraordinary impressions in your meetings that'll make a huge difference in your business. So I went to level. And I saw myself in that man's office, not knowing what he looked like because I never met him before. And I felt myself being more charismatic and more focused on him than ever before. And I felt us having tremendous rapport. And I saw and felt myself giving him unconditional love as another human being, really being warm and friendly and interested and really listening. And I saw him having tremendous rapport with me. Well, I went down to Grand Rapids the next day. I had a meeting for about an hour and 15 minutes. And when I got home later that night and somebody said to me, how did the meeting go? I said, it was the finest meeting of my 20-year career. I've never had a first meeting with so much rapport, so much warmth. My agent contact said the man was electrified by your presence. He said that you had enormous Charisma. Exactly what I had mentally rehearsed. Well, as a result of that, we just received 2 weeks ago our third contract from that man and his company. Jose Silva has given us some enormous tools that we can use to prosper and thrive and build relationships and build business and really be a superb communicator. My daughter Kristen is 14, as I mentioned, and we spend a lot of time together, 2 or 3 times a week when possible. And every time before I go to spend time with my daughter, I take time to relax, to go to Alpha, and to rehearse the energy and the feelings that I want to have with her. Because, you know, like you, I have business days that sometimes put me on overload, lots of things going on. Maybe the day's a little bit stressful and a little tired by the end of the day. I don't want to go spend time with my daughter when I'm preoccupied, when I'm stressed, or when I'm tired. So before I go to spend time with her, I will relax, go to Alpha, and I will project and image the love and the joy and the interaction that I want to have with her. In recent times, at her request, I project myself being 100% present and being an even better listener so that I really hear and understand what she says. This is a very powerful technique for getting better outcomes in your relationships and in all your meetings. So now Ed Byrne is going to teach you how to develop charisma and instant rapport using some specialized techniques.
Thanks, Michael. What fabulous examples of how to use the techniques. In the next session, we'll do a conditioning cycle, mental exercise, that will guide us through a mental rehearsal technique that Jose Silva developed for us. You'll be able to do exactly as Michael did. He made a great point also of getting your feelings involved in it. Mr. Silva always emphasized to get your feelings involved. How do you feel when you're performing the activity, when you're meeting with people, when you're interacting with people, when you're performing a task or whatever it is? How is it that you feel at the beginning? How is it that you feel? What feelings do you have? What does it feel like when you're midway through? How do you feel as you complete the task? So that will be one of the techniques that we'll have. A second technique we have is one that deals with charisma. What is charisma? Mr. Silva talks about charisma. Sometimes people, you just know you can trust them. You just feel good about them. You enjoy being around them. You know anybody like that? Sure. And the other side, of course, some people you don't trust and you don't want to be around. We're always projecting energy. The key is to learn how to control that energy and to use it to help you achieve the things that are important to you in your life, to help you achieve your mission in life. So this technique will do it. Mr. Silva called it the instant rapport technique. He came up with this technique and gave it to us in a special class we were doing a number of years ago, all the way back in 1986, for salespeople. We wanted to help salespeople do a better job of helping people with their products or their services. Mr. Silva came in and said, as long as you're being honest with people, as long as you're being fair, as long as you're working in a win-win sort of a situation, as long as you're gaining by helping other people gain, this technique will work for you. If you go in and you have a product or a service that is going to help them, you can use this technique. Now, it'll work for far more than just salespeople. It can work with parents. It can work with husbands and wives. It can work with friends that you have. Any situation where you're interacting with people, you can use this technique to help you out. So while he's talking about it a little bit in this tape about sales, just keep in mind that anytime you want to help somebody, anytime you need to persuade them, what was that book about win friends and influence people? When you're in that sort of a mode where you want to win friends and influence people, the instant rapport technique will work perfectly. The way the technique works, you pre-program yourself at night, he'll explain how to do that, for the person that you're going to meet the next day. You want to use a trigger mechanism, a gesture that you will use, unobtrusive, the other person won't even notice that you're doing it, unless they've also taken this course, a gesture that you will use that will automatically trigger this instant rapport. The gesture that he's selected is what he calls the little finger in the palm of the hand technique. Works like this. Fold your fingers back into the palm of your hand. Okay, when your hand is closed, notice all the fingers will touch the palm of your hand. If you hold your hand out and then close your hand as if you were holding something, you notice the fingers will fold back to touch the palm of your hand. Now, the only one that really counts for this technique is the little finger. Doesn't matter if the other fingers are touching or not, whatever's comfortable for you. Whenever you kind of fold the fingers back so the little finger touches the palm of your hand, that will trigger this instant rapport technique that you pre-programmed. Why the little finger? The little finger is associated with psychic ability. Mr. Silva, a number of years ago, developed this technique for better intuition. One of his sons had been drafted and was ordered to go to Vietnam. About 30 other kids from Laredo were also headed for Vietnam. He wanted to do whatever he could to help them be more intuitive, more sensitive to danger so that they would be safe. So he brought them all into his laboratory, guided them to level, and programmed them with the little finger in the palm of the hand technique, that any time they touched the palm of their hand with the little finger, either hand or both hands, they would be intuitive, they would be sensitive to danger, and they would make the right decisions to be safe. They were sent to an area of Vietnam where almost everyone who went there was injured. One friend of mine, a former Silva instructor, said he was sent to that same area at the same time. When they got off the ship, they gave everybody the papers to fill out for their Purple Heart. They just left the date and place blank. That would be filled in later when they were actually injured. That's how dangerous it was in the early part of that war, in that particular area. Those 30 youngsters, those 30 young men from Laredo went into that area. There was only one injury out of the entire 30 of them. None of them were killed. Only one was injured. It was a relatively minor injury, kept him out of combat for the last 2 or 3 weeks of his tour, and then he returned home. Who knows? Perhaps being pulled out of harm's way might have saved his life with just a minor injury instead. It was a phenomenal record. They came back with stories about how they would have a choice of which path to take. Should we go left or should we go right? They would choose to go right and find out the other path there was an ambush waiting. They would find that out later. So they got confirmation many, many times that they were correct with their intuition. We'll use the technique now to establish instant rapport with people. When you're going to meet with somebody and you want to have that rapport, you'll use the technique. Well, I could explain it to you, but it'd be even better to hear Jose Silva explain it to you. So we made a tape of that class we were doing for salespeople back in 1986, and I've guarded that tape ever since because I knew that sooner or later we wanted to release this technique to the public. We're going to do it now. You'll get to hear Jose Silva talk about it. When he says, whenever you do this, he's talking about bringing the little finger back to touch the palm of the hand. He was gesturing and showing that. So let me turn the floor over now to Jose Silva.
You know, when you hear these people talk about the outer, the inner, and so forth and so on, keep in mind that when you're talking about beta, this is where everybody tries to improve their manner of functioning, either in sales or whatever it is, in education and so on. Motivation is needed at beta. At alpha, you need programming. 2 different things. At beta, you correct problems or you bring about the solution to problems by repulsion, by pressuring. At alpha, internally, by attraction. They call it the charisma of the individual. He's charismatic. What they're saying is he's using more of his mind, the right brain hemisphere, to attract people to what they're saying. Everything they talk about appears to be truthful. They believe this individual. We talk about beta. This is the outer consciousness, the so-called critical consciousness of a human being. When you deal here, you're dealing with a set of factors that say, but maybe, well, I don't know about that, you know. The doubter, the skeptic is beta-wise. At alpha, by attraction, there's no critical consciousness to consider. You're working through the inner door, to the back door, not the front door. Front door, look out. I don't know who you are. You're trying to get my money. See? But talking to them from the right brain hemisphere, you're attracting them, they trust you. They know why. They feel as though they've known you for a long time. Now that's an individual who has programmed before meeting the customer and making the contact. That individual never mentions negative terms in his sales. What are negative terms? Well, doubtful things, maybe death, maybe accident, maybe ill health, maybe disease. They never mention those words at all. Always mention success, life instead of death, health instead of sickness. Never use negative terms regardless whether they're directly mentioned or indirectly mentioned while making a sale. Never, never, never. Always positive terms. Never deal with anything that's falling. It's always coming up. Going back, going forward. Don't mention back, forward. Those words, terms. Because this is how you enter the inner part of the individual. He doesn't know why he likes the way you talk. Because you don't mention a single negative term. Now, when we talk about programming and talk about the three-finger technique, you want to prepare yourself before you meet your customer. You want to know as much as you can about the customer before you meet them. What is his business? How much is he making? Is he married? Is he divorced? How many kids does he have? What age are his kids? And so forth. Brothers or sisters, whatever, father or mother, whatever. I mean, you want to touch on those areas indirectly. Not directly, like you should tell your father, don't never tell anybody what they should do. They don't like to be told. This is going to cost you, don't mention cost or price or anything. You can obtain this item. You don't mention value. The worst thing you can say, you should have this, it only costs you so much. You made all the mistakes in the world already. You tell them what to do. They don't have to do nothing. They need this product to make a better way of life and so on. They don't have to have it. Have it forceful. You don't want to force them to anything. Don't put them on the defensive. I mean, people are using this product in this manner and so forth. Look how much they're doing with it. I mean, they've placed themselves in a position to obtain such an item. So you want to speak to them truthfully from the inner levels using the three-finger technique, which means this. You pre-program yourself before you meet your customer. Of course, you have all the information in relation to the customer, like we mentioned before. What is he doing? How much does he make? How many kids does he have? Does he have a father or mother, brothers and sisters, or whatever? As much information you can get to touch on what they like. They like everything that belongs to them. I saw your child yesterday. He's smart, you know. How old is he? You know, talk to him. Maybe you did talk to the child, asking a few questions, and the child responded very interesting, you know. You say, he's pretty smart, you know, what he told me. Mention things like this, if you happen to have met the kids, you know. I mean, this builds up the customer in your favor. So pre-programming means before you meet a customer, you want to go to your level. When is the best time to get best results in your own programming? At night, before you go to sleep. You already know who you're going to talk to. You have a prospect in mind. One prospect at a time, in this case. Now, you want to select the best deal. You want to select the most important sale you want to make, the most valuable thing, whatever. Maybe you're getting big profits, a big sale, and so on. Now, you specialize on that one customer at one night. Before you go to bed at night, enter your level. Once at your level, you pre-program yourself, meaning to wake up automatically when the customer of yours is in the ideal receptive state of conditions to receive your message, mental message. And then you go to sleep from your level. When you wake up, re-enter your level and place your customer right in front of you. And talk to him. Say, tomorrow I'm going to see you. It has to do with this kind of product or whatever you have. I'm going to talk to you about this, the benefits of this. You know I'm not fooling you because I cannot fool you in this dimension. I've got a good product that can help you make a better way of life or do better with it or whatever. This is my quality, this is my product, and so forth. Explain the whole product to them. So I'm going to see you tomorrow. Then you go ahead and, when you're doing this, your three-finger technique, then you say, from here on, whenever I want to contact you from the inner levels, all I need to do is one hand like this or the other hand. And everything I'm thinking mentally, I'm reinforcing what I said last night to you. Let's go over that. It's important. Let's suppose that I woke up at night automatically. I re-enter my level and go like this. And I say, tomorrow I want to meet this customer. John Doe, whatever, whoever he is. And I'm going to explain to you, you're saying this, I'm going to explain to you my product. The benefits that you can derive from my product when you obtain it, whatever it is that you have for sale. Maybe a home, maybe a car, whatever it is, a business or whatever, insurance or whatever it is. So whenever I want to reinforce what I'm saying to you, all I need to think about it and go like this. In other words, you program yourself that whenever you do this, your thinking is perceived by your customer. Thought transfers is called. Okay? One hand or the other hand, doesn't matter, one or both, either way. I mean, you're like talking to him, keep your finger like this, you see? And then you talk and you think, you talk and you think. What you're thinking and visualizing, he's perceiving the information. Thought transference is called. Now, for this to be effective, the customer needs to be within 25 feet of you. 25 feet distance, okay? Physical distance, body-to-body distance. Now, at night, you can program, regardless where the customer is, maybe thousands of miles away, but when you're going to meet and talk to him, he's got to be within your hearing distance anyway. So he's going to be well within 25 feet for this to be effective. So let's say tomorrow I meet the customer now. So I'm talking to the customer about some things. Maybe he has a doubt or something. You don't need to doubt this. You know I'm truthful mentally. It changes right now. He doesn't doubt you anymore. See? As you go, and then when you have explained everything, you see that you're not trying to fool the customer. It's not you just want to make $1. You know that he's with your product, he's going to do better than ever before. Live a better way of life, whatever he's going to gain. You're going to earn by helping others earn, okay? Not to earn at somebody else's loss. Always keep that in mind. You're earning more by helping others earn more, not by helping others earn less. And you'll be the beneficial. We always earn helping others earn, okay? You improve by helping others improve, not at anybody's losses. So then, this is convincing. Whenever you see a doubting customer, mentally you say, you don't need to doubt this, you know I'm truthful to you. And all of a sudden you're trying to change his mind right now. I mean, you can see changing his facial features, you see, but you're doing this. You're pre-programming. Now this is for your own programming. This is keys for you to be able to function in a special manner. Self-programming. Now why do we do this? These three fingers are the nerve endings, the radial nerve endings that expels most energy out of the body. These three fingers right here. So we prevent this energy from escaping our body, to build it up within ourselves, to have more energy to program ourselves. That's the idea. Short circuit. Keep it from escaping. Build it up within yourself. Then you program yourself. But every time you program yourself, be sure that you have pre-programmed to wake up automatically. And then when you do this, always bow your head and do it with your head bowed like so. Say for instance, whenever I need to transfer my information mentally, thought transfer to my customer, all I need to do is bring these three finger techniques, or this other. And then mentally, your thoughts are projected to your customer. Now, why 25 feet? Because the body aura radiation, there's 7 different radiating elements in your body. You have a halo of energy. If you could photograph yourselves with a current photography, you see a halo of light around you that reaches out no less than 25 feet distance. So you want this customer to be within you. Okay? So 25 feet, 50 feet, you still auras are contacting. Well, 25 feet is a lot better. See? Because your auras are interlocked, interlaced. Yours and the customer's too. So whatever your thoughts are can be transferred to his brain and his consciousness also. But they must be contacting, auras will be contacting. You can't do this like so. You only program when the conditions are ideal, so you wake up automatically. When the conditions are ideal, somebody wakes you up, you know. We don't even know who it is that does the awakening. We suspect there's another dimension of intelligence that's helping us to succeed when we want to help, not when we want to hurt. It's automatic. You intention to hurt, doors are closed. You intention to help solve problems, doors are open. Okay? So there's another level of intelligence that does the awakening. When you tell yourself, I want to awaken at 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever, maybe you have not slept for 48 hours straight through, and it's important that you wake up at 2 o'clock and there's no alarm clock, you're alone at home, you're concerned that you might sleep right on through for a full day, 8, 10 hours, instead of waking up at 3 o'clock when you had to wake up. Well, you program yourself to wake up. At the exact time that you selected to wake up, there's a voice, hey Joe, if your name is Joe, wake up. You said, Joe, wake up. You said 3 o'clock, Joe. You wake up, you're alone at home. You still hear the voice ringing in your ears, male or female. Sometimes it's male, sometimes it's female. Who was it that did the awakening? We don't know. It's a phenomenon nobody can explain. Okay? And it happens time and again. So we suspect that there's a dimension of intelligence that's there to help us when we are trying sincerely to help solve problems, not to create problems. It's not that to have fun or just to enjoy. It's only to solve problems. And if you sell your customer a product helps him solve problems, that's it. The system will work for you. Okay? Now somebody says, seek that kingdom and function within all righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. See what I'm saying? Everything falls right in place. But you must seek all righteousness. God's righteousness means don't hurt God's creation. Help it get along. That's what it means. But you need to seek that kingdom that's within you first. A kingdom of heaven, he said. Heaven is mental, intangible. Heaven is not tangible. It's not physical, it's spiritual, mental it's called. Subjective heaven. Kingdom is subdivisions of anything. 714 is 7. 7 notes is the kingdom of music. They call it an octave. 7 colors of the rainbow is the kingdom of light. 7 chakras is the kingdom of human beings. Kingdom 7 is within you. And it's a heavenly, intangible kingdom. Mental, spiritual. Mind is spiritual. Human intelligence is spiritual. We enter it, spiritual, into spiritual dimension. We'll there seek in the kingdom first, he said. And once there, function within all righteousness, and everything else would be added unto you. What are your needs? Ask and you shall receive. He will say the same thing here. Use it to solve problems, not to create problems. You wonder how we have been so successful around the world? Helping people solve problems, not to help them create problems. We wouldn't have gotten to first base if we teach people how to create problems, how to solve problems. That's what you're doing too in selling your products, or your insurance, or your automobile, or whatever it is you're selling. It's for them to do better with than they were doing before. That's what you're doing, solving their problems too. Help them solve their problems. So, 3-figure technique for self-programming. You own programming, okay? So, 3-figure technique and self-programming. You want to pre-program yourself always before you meet your customer. Especially, it's always best if you could do it night before. To wake up automatically when conditions are ideal in relation to the customer. Somebody wakes you up when the conditions are ideal, then you go ahead and pre-program yourself. I'm going to meet you tomorrow, place you in front of you. Talk to them. See, talking to them means convey your intentions. Talking is only for beta, really. We don't need to talk at alpha. But if you can convey your intentions through visualization and imagination, it's like talking at the other level. We don't need vocal cords for thought transference. We need vocal cords out here in this other dimension. So to express our intentions, we verbalize our intentions. But at this level, we don't need to verbalize our intentions. Just by visualizing and imagining what's to take place, that's it. That's the message right there. Okay? So if you can visualize and imagine what you want your customer to respond like, agreeable to your thinking, confide in you, trust you, and so forth, and sign the contracts and so on, he does it better by doing so. And you see him towards your left in the future. Towards your left. Always. Your future is towards your left, okay? So when you want to picture something for the future, visualize it over here, not over there. In front is establishing for what's to happen in the future. So you present your ideas and visualize and imagine the customer already taking advantage of what you've done for him. And then at the very end of your programming, you say, may the best thing happen for everybody concerned. And then let it go at that. Okay? May the best thing happen for everybody concerned. And you're dealing with the all honesty that this is good for everybody concerned. That's what you're doing.
Thank you, Mr. Silva. Now, let's get right to it and program this technique so that you can start using it immediately. On the mental exercise in the next session, we'll program the mental rehearsal technique, the best time to program technique to find the best time to program. We'll guide you through that. And also the instant report technique. So when you're ready to do it, proceed to the next session and let Jonelle Monaco Lytle guide you through this exercise. Thank you.
This session includes mental rehearsal, best time to program, and the instant rapport techniques of Jose Silva's Ultramind ESP systems. I'm Jonelle Monaco Lytle, and I'll be your guide. Soon in the background you will hear the gentle tapping of the alpha sound. This sound will help your brain adjust to the alpha rhythm. This tape is to be used with eyes closed, so do not play it when you are driving or performing any other activity that requires the use of your eyesight. Remember that if at any time you feel uncomfortable, readjust your position to make yourself more comfortable. If you feel you must open your eyes for any reason, then open your eyes and make yourself comfortable. If you open your eyes, then rewind the tape and start again at the beginning. Anytime you desire to relax mentally or verbally, repeat the word relax, and you will relax physically and mentally. This mind training exercise is based on one originally copyrighted by Jose Silva of Laredo, Texas in 1969 after 25 years of research. New material on this tape is copyrighted in the year 2000 by Silva Ultramind Systems. Reproduction for redistribution is strictly prohibited. Now prepare for this mind training exercise by finding a comfortable position. We will begin this exercise with the 3-to-1 method. Find a comfortable position, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize the number 3 times. To help you learn to relax physically at level 3, I am going to direct your attention to different parts of your body. Relax your scalp. Relax your forehead. Relax your eyes. Relax your face. Relax your throat. Relax your shoulders. Relax your chest externally and internally. Relax your abdominal area externally and internally. Relax your thighs. Relax your knees. Relax your calves. Relax your feet. You are now at a deeper, healthier level of mind, deeper than before. This is your physical relaxation level 3. Whenever you mentally repeat and visualize the number 3, your body will relax as completely as you are now, and more so every time you practice. To enter mental relaxation level 2, take a deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize the number 2 3 times, and you are at level 2, a deeper level than 3. Level 2 is for mental relaxation, where noises will not distract you. Instead, noises will help you to relax mentally more and more. To improve mental relaxation at level 2, practice visualizing tranquil and passive scenes. To enter the basic plane level, take another deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize the number 1 3 times. You are now at level 1, the basic plane level that you can use for a purpose, any purpose you desire. To help you enter a deeper, healthier level of mind, I'm going to count from 10 to 1. On each descending number, you will feel yourself going deeper, and you will enter a deeper, healthier level of mind. 10, 9, feel going deeper. 8, 7, 6, deeper and deeper. 5, 4, 3, deeper and deeper. 2, 1. You are now at a deeper, healthier level of mind, deeper than before. It is a wonderful feeling to be deeply relaxed, a very healthy state of being. Effective sensory projection statements for success. I am now learning to attune my intelligence by developing my sensing faculties and to project them to any point or place on this planet so as to be aware of any actions taking place if this is necessary and beneficial for humanity. I am now learning to attune my intelligence by developing my sensing faculties and to project them to any point or place on any planet within the solar system, any solar system within the galaxy, and any galaxy within the universe so as to be aware of any actions taking place if this is necessary and beneficial for humanity. I am now learning to attune my intelligence by developing my sensing faculties and to project them to the different matter kingdoms, the inanimate matter kingdom, any of its levels and depths, the animate matter kingdom with reproductive intelligence, plant life and animal life, any of its levels and depths, and the animate matter kingdom with reproductive intelligence and an awareness of existence, the human body and mind kingdom, any of its levels and depths. I am now learning to detect abnormalities whenever such abnormalities exist, within any kingdom, any level, and any depth, if this is necessary and beneficial for humanity. I am now learning to apply corrective measures and to bring back to normalcy any abnormality found within any kingdom, any level, and any depth, if this is necessary and beneficial for humanity. Negative thoughts and negative suggestions have no influence over me at any level of the mind. The following laws are to be considered when programming. Do to others only what you like others to do to you. The solution must be within the possibility area. The solution must help to make this planet a better place to live. The solution must be the best for everyone concerned. The solution must help at least 2 or more persons. The following principles apply to programming. Objective physical communication takes place at the beta left brain dimension using the objective physical senses. The hearing is used for perception, and the voice is used for transmission. Subjective spiritual communication takes place at the alpha right brain dimension by using the spiritual senses. Visualization is used for perception and imagination is used for transmission. In the objective physical dimension, the past is behind us, the present is our present position, and the future is ahead of us. In the subjective spiritual dimension, the past is to your right, the present is centered straight ahead, and the future is to your left. We will now impress information for your benefit, programming the mental rehearsal technique, a formula-type technique that you can use to help you accomplish things you desire to accomplish. When you have an activity to perform and you desire to rehearse it mentally ahead of time, enter level 1 with a 3-to-1 method and then project yourself mentally to the location where you will perform the activity. Once you have projected yourself mentally to your place where you will perform the activity, imagine yourself performing the way you desire. Imagine yourself improving and accomplishing your task successfully. Notice how you feel as you are performing the task. Imagine how you feel as you begin the activity the way you desire. Imagine how you feel as you progress in the activity. Imagine feeling successful, and imagine a sense of accomplishment as you succeed at your assigned task. We will now impress information for your benefit, programming the best time to program technique. When you are ready to go to bed and sleep, sit up in bed, or on the edge of the bed, close your eyes and turn them slightly upward, approximately 20 degrees. Lower your head approximately 20 degrees in the area of your mental screen and enter your level with a 3-to-1 method. Once at your level, tell yourself mentally that you want to wake up automatically at the best time to program and that you are going to wake up automatically at the best time to program. Remain at your level, lie down, and go to sleep from your level. You will awake automatically during the night or in the morning at the best time to program. When you wake up, sit up in bed or on the edge of the bed, close your eyes and turn them slightly upward, approximately 20 degrees. Lower your head approximately 20 degrees in the area of your mental screen. Enter your level, and then you are ready to do your programming. We will now impress information for your benefit. Programming instant rapport. When you desire to pre-program yourself to have instant rapport with someone, proceed as follows. Enter your level and program yourself to wake up automatically with the best time to program technique. The first time that you wake up, during the night or in the morning, sit up in bed and enter your level with a 3-to-1 method. Then, fold the little finger of either hand or both hands to touch the palm of your hand. Think about the meeting that you are going to have with the person. Tell yourself mentally that, whenever I fold the little finger of either hand so as to touch the palm of my hand with it, as I am doing now, the person I am meeting with will sense that I am there to help him or her and will know that they can trust me and will have instant rapport. You have practiced entering deep, healthy levels of mind. In your next session, you will enter a deeper, healthier level of mind, faster and easier than this time. Every time you function at these levels of the mind, you will receive beneficial effects physically and mentally. You may use these levels of the mind to help yourself physically and mentally. You may use these levels of the mind to help your loved ones physically and mentally. You may use these levels of the mind to help any human being who needs help physically and mentally. You will never use these levels of the mind to harm any human being. If this be your intention, you will not be able to function within these levels of the mind. You will always use these levels of the mind in a constructive, creative manner for all that is good, honest, pure, clean, and positive, and this is so. You will continue to strive to take part in constructive and creative activities to make this a better world to live in, so that when we move on, we shall have left behind a better world for those who follow. You will consider the whole of humanity, depending on their ages as fathers or mothers, brothers or sisters, sons or daughters. You are a superior human being. You have greater understanding, compassion, and patience with others. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. At that time, you will open your eyes and be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. You will have no ill effects whatsoever in your head, no headache, no ill effects whatsoever in your hearing, no buzzing in your ears, no ill effects whatsoever in your vision and eyesight. Vision, eyesight, and hearing improve every time you function at these levels of the mind. 1, 2, coming out slowly now. 3, at the count of 5, you will open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before, feeling the way you feel when you have slept the right amount of revitalizing, refreshing, relaxing, healthy sleep. 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. This concludes the best time, mental rehearsal, and instant rapport techniques for Jose Silva's Ultramind ESP systems, and may the rest of your life be the best of your life, and this is so.